Okay, so we've been talking a lot about this. We'll go over the thoughts here a little bit. Black White Ketramos, super popular when it came out. Very good against Boros Synergy. Ketramos seemed like the big dealio. A lot of Black White players have declared Ketramos to be bad, and so a lot of Black White players are instead going back to how these Black White decks were played with Flickerwisp, also with Aether Vial and Imperial Recruiter of the Guard. Now, I maintain very strongly that Aether Vial Recruiter is not a good plan. I think that if you think Ketramos is bad, you might be right, but I think that that does not make Recruiter of the Guard a good card to put into your modern deck. We've been talking a lot about building instead just playing the actual good 3-drop Graveyard Trespasser and Flickerwisp. These are our 3-drops instead. Graveyard Trespasser and Flickerwisp. Trespasser has been just like this huge performer. You still have access to plenty of card advantage between Overlord, Emperor of Bones, Phelia, Flickerwisp, Solitude, Ephemerate. You get to be mean, lean. Each card is more individually strong, leaning less on synergy, just on quality. Black White is second most played deck in Modern right now with no Ketramos. I looked yesterday. The top 3 decks were Boros, Zoo, and Titan. But yeah, this is the idea to like I will accept the conclusion that Ketramos isn't well positioned or isn't good. I'll accept this. It's this is something a lot of people have come to, but I don't accept Recruiter of the Guard. So this is my take on Black White, where we're just actually playing the good cards here. Ketramos is a card advantage engine that you're trying to put in a deck that's all card advantage. I think that's a really good way to put it. And again, so this is the entire flaw in the thinking. I think is that people identified. I think it's a really good way to put it. Ketramos is a card advantage engine in a deck that's all card advantage. So it's not something that's improving your win rate. People identified that and they just went back to Recruiter of the Guard, but that card sucks. is my take. I really want an untapped land. I think it's a little too greedy to graveyard. I do like Bowmaster. I think it's good against Boros. It's like solid in most matchups, and I enjoy having it when I have it. I add the commander code. Looks like I did. Against Domain. I think the only reason Blink players like Recruiter is that it's essentially access to another Solitude. I think you might be right, and I think that is just not a very good reason. More interested in drawing a land, I guess. It's kind of nice if we like Solitude and then, or we could Solitude and Wisp maybe, but we could just get this back with the Overlord trigger next turn, I guess. Don't always play Bowmaster, but I think it's a little bit underplayed, just a tad. So probably binding my Overlord, we get a nice little 2-for-1, 3-for-1. Could take Phelia because we have another Overlord in hand. Could take Witch. I think we'll take Witch Enchanter so we could hardcast Overlord or hardcast Solitude. Or maybe have a white card to pitch. They bolt. Do they also have a binding? I guess they know I have Witch Enchanter, so Witch Enchanter could also just serve as an answer to the binding. So they may have flames. They may have, we don't want to rule out binding, but if they have flames and binding, they'll want to just flames this. Okay, so they play a Flage. They deal 3 damage. And then they bolt. Okay. So if we don't find anything else, we can go Overlord for Trawler and then trawl the yard over there. Could also just like leave up hardcast Solitude. Kind of risky against a Consign, which these decks do main deck sometime. Yeah, I think that's fine to keep on top, and then we can Hardcast that later. Okay, we do find the Trespasser. Shout out Ketramos / shout out Recruiter of the Guard. You have been surpassed. You were surpassed all along. Okay. So they have 8 Bowmasterable 1-drops, presumably. It's pretty interesting. They discard a Flage to the Trespasser trigger. That's also interesting. I think it's kind of okay to just let them have a Flage, but I'm not sure that's what I want to do. Like, I think I just want to take a Wisp here. And then I'll prioritize getting a white card off an Overlord trigger so that I can have Solitude up if they have Arena of Glory, but it's just kind of okay if they get a Flage trigger, right? Overlord Trawler has to be the play. I mean, I think that's like the level 1 play, but like, I don't know why we feel like we need to do that when like the Flage just isn't even good here. Like if they escape Flage, I get to go Solitude the Flage, attack with Overlord, pick up Trespasser, exile the other one, and Bowmaster the Kokobo. So maybe I'm missing something. I was thinking Overlord get Phelia. Yeah. I mean, obviously you want to go Overlord for Wisp, I think, instead of Overlord for 5 mana. Although you can deck yourself with the Overlord sometimes. Yeah, both lines seem winning. Nice. I guess we want to. Yeah, I think we just hardcast. Hardcast hold up Ephemerate. Well, I'd say that was a great showcase for the idea here on the first match. I do think we want to go down on Bowmaster on the draw, especially if we think they're going to cut their Ragavans. I'm going to bring in the 4th Graveyard Trespasser, and I think we want to bring in Vindicates, which aren't amazing, but they are an answer to Leyline. So I think that's what we have to do. Is there a world where you can build Abzan Blink? We have built Abzan Blink. We've got a Abzan Severance Priest Blink Birthing Ritual deck that we were doing pretty well with last season. You can find that list at the Mox Field. Do not put any card that ends with Rhino in your deck. I'm going to keep this. We have Solitude and an Ephemerate, no white card. We've got double Fatal Push. We have a Thoughtseize for Leyline Scion draws. We're on the draw. Just got to keep this. So no Leyline is good. Gonna main phase the push because they are a Stubborn Denial deck. Abzan Blink, we also get Endurance to protect from milling out. Well, that sure is not something that seems to matter, to be honest. I think we're going to rip the land here. Got plenty of time, got Solitude Ephemerate. Really thought I could feel it coming. They have 2 cards in their hand. I think I'm Thoughtseizing this turn to try to make sure this can maybe get 3 creatures or it's not going to get disrupted by something like that. So they play their Thundering Falls. They have a mystery card in their hand. This grows to 3/4. We're taking 7 down to 8. They do keep a card on top. Take 7 down to 8. Is Chocobo better than the Coddle now? I think so, yeah. Fable. Well, maybe Fable's good against your black-white opponents who miss all their land drops. But we haven't missed all of our land drops now. So let's main phase this in case my opponent kept a removal spell on top. I have a Kokobo or a new Kokobo brew that I've been playing a little bit off stream. And I can say this it is a pretty good card. Alright, so they keep the card that they kept on top, so it wasn't a Flage that they were setting up to discard. They don't attack, which they definitely should have attacked. I have the Ephemerate coming off rebound. Oh. Okay, fair enough. So let's graveyard that. So we don't get our rebound. We do get to just like put a Solitude in play maybe. I'm going to attack. I think there's a good chance that they end up blocking here. Maybe I want to I probably want to try to cast the Phelia and not pitch this game. So they flip the Reflection. They're definitely pausing like they have a spell in their hand. So I don't know if I'm supposed to Thoughtseize if I draw a land. Okay, weird that they would bolt there when they know I have a Phelia. Alright, so they've drawn like 3 or 4 spells in a row. Let's see if they brick for a turn. Y'all remember Gigantha? What do you think of Aven Interrupter? Do I have a couple of my sideboard, right? I think it's like a fine sideboard card. I don't really like main decking it. Did the Flames, I guess. It's a ley line? Okay. They did brick, kind of. We draw our 3rd land. Let's go. So I do think I want the 5/5, even though it's just kind of vanilla. And then we're going to play our vanilla 3/3. No attacks. So then we target the Shaman, then they make another Shaman to block with. Does have an attack trigger. If you blink their Gobo, they can't copy anything. Well, that's not true if they draw a creature, but I think targeting the Overlord makes a lot more sense here. Okay, they let me get my attack trigger, which didn't make a lot of sense. I guess we take the card we can cast this turn. So they're going to trade the token copy for the Solitude, I presume. Then they're going to take 7. Maybe, no, we already played this. Why not take Witch Enchanter? Well, there's a Torp Orb in play, so I'm either taking a vanilla 3/1 flyer or a vanilla 2/2 that doesn't let me surveil. They drew a land and we win. Wander there yonder. Oh, wait, they could Flage. There, although Flage, we wouldn't against Flage because of the Torpor Orb. All right. A very, very good showing for the deck already. Like, it was just immediately Trespassers, like, was way better than Ketramos or Recruiter would have been. Ketramos. I have a soft spot for Ketramos, but Blanks put it really well earlier. It was like, Ketramos is a strict card advantage engine in a deck that's all card advantage cards. And so I think putting it that way really, really helps me understand why it is that you just don't want to play Ketramos in the shell, and which is like exactly why you want to play Trespasser and like Bowmaster instead. You play cards that impact the board, and and your deck is still all card advantage. Immigrant, the 23 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Why do people play Containment Priest with Phelia and Flickerwisp? Well, it's awkward to play Containment Priest in this archetype because of your own Phelia and because of your Ephemerates, but it is something people do, and it's usually just like a little bit clunky, I guess. It's like you're a Solitude Ephemerate Fatal Push deck. You're not exactly hurting and dying for more like once a turn sorcery speed exile creature if your opponent has no removal. But we hit a Wisp. What about adding blue for Fog? It seems really unnecessary, especially because we're not playing Ketramos. Like your mana gets significantly worse. But you could also get Consign, which Consign's a really nice sideboard card. So Wooded Foothills Elegant Parlor is unfortunately probably Storm. Don't have a lot for Storm, just the Aven Interrupters. They hit Artist Talent and they hit Mountain. Hopefully they're on Ral. We can Solitude it. Another Solitude or a Trawler. Shouldn't matter a lot. Have you seen the modified Rakdos Cecil deck that 5-0'd yesterday with a few twists? I didn't know. I'd love to. I'll take a look at that one. We also 5-0'd yesterday. We were 10-1 and then up a game and our power crashed, but definitely interested to see other ideas there. So we can kill them in 2 turns probably. Could be nice to try to find a Witch Enchanter off the Overlord to kill the Artist Talent. Also, we could Ephemerate the Wisp to like flicker the Artist Talent for a turn maybe. We might want to... We could maybe try to see if they level. Alright, so they cast a Ritual. They do have a Ral. Alright, so it's not Solitude now. Since I don't think they're going to flip if this wins. And then they only have 1 mana. We can Solitude in response to the next spell. Okay, there's a Ritual. There's an Artist Talent. Playing Wisp without Vial seems like treason. How far have we come? Well, the thing is, it's like... Wisp is now really good without Vial because of Overlord. It's like, this curve is just super strong. And this card is also really strong with Phelia without Vial and Ephemerate. So you no longer have to play the bad cards, thankfully. Deck Fade and Denos is playing 2 Kroxa, 4 Night Whispers, 4 Corey. So this is like at least 10 cards different. Again, I would love to take a look. I almost and didn't play FOMO. So FOMO is really, really, really good with Cecil. I think FOMO is really, really important in that deck. 4 Night Whispers a lot too. I got baited by the title. Thought you were playing Ketramos. Well. We're improving your Ketramos deck here by not playing it. So I guess we take a white card for another round. Gonna exile a Ritual instead of a creature here. Oh, sorry, I should just play the Trawler. See if that comes back to get us. Feels like Dak traded power level for consistency. Yeah, maybe. Was I playing one Night's Whisper or 0? I can't remember. I had a couple different builds. Google Chrome always acts so weird when I'm streaming. Alright, Rakdos. Okay, I landed on 0. It's cool that Dak has it, because I did have some drafts with it before. It's cool that also Dak 5-0'd, we 5-0'd yesterday. I ended up not playing the Kroxa, because like the problem with building the deck this way, and like I was kind of here for a bit with I had Kroxa, I had Night's Whisper. The problem is you have 0 graveyard hate for Flage game 1, and like you're so weak to Flage. You have three post board, and so if you just like main deck the Cling to Dust and you main deck the Trespassers, your Boros matchup increases so much for what I feel is not that much of an opportunity cost. This is definitely fine. Oh, Dak wasn't playing Phoenix? So Dak wasn't playing the Phoenix Street Wraith package. That's also interesting. The Phoenixes were so good. Yeah, just a different build. Yeah, so you have the Night's Whisper for the Steel Cutter, but I agree. So, like the thing is, if you play, I've been saying this for a while. If you play Rakdos Steel Cutter like this, your Steel Cutters are worse than every other Steel Cutter in the format. Is my issue. Like your Steel Cutter is just not as powerful, and it also comes at the cost of having to play 4 Night's Whisper, which isn't the worst thing ever, but is also not ideal. Because they've got 3 cards in their hand, an unleveled Artist Talent. Great, discards a Glimpse. Any chance we should have held up Ephemerate in case they played Ruby? I think the problem with that is like you let them like loot too much. They don't have that many cards in their hand. I think you just accept that if they top deck a Ruby, it's going to be hard to beat. Why 4 Bowmasters? Do we not like Aven 4 Wisp? Well, that's a lot of 3-drops, right? I think I really like just playing 6 3-drops. I really like only playing 3 Wisp. Like you just don't want to draw 2 Wisps in your opening hand. I don't think that Aven Interrupter is a good main deck card. It's like it is bad against Boros. It's not very good against the other aggro decks. For me, it's like just a sideboard card. And I think Bowmasters is underplayed in general. Like there's a good amount of Dimir. It's good against Boros. It's just not a card that you're ever unhappy to have. It's just a good main deck card, I think. So they discard a Wish. They're going to have 4 mana after this ritual, 1 card in their hand. Pass in Flames doesn't... I don't know what this 1 card can be. Empty the Warrens would do it, I guess. Which is very hard for that to just be in their hand here. Phoenix is so hard to do when Wraith is your only card with any mana value. Well, you have Trespassers too, but like one thing is you also have fear of missing out to discard the Phoenix for value. And you're also only playing 3 Phoenix, and you have like DRC Bobble to churn through your deck. So I definitely felt like the Phoenixes were good yesterday. I agree that they're mostly good when you draw Wraiths, but it's not very hard to draw a Wraith. Do we beat him, team? Yeah, Bowmasters also against all the affinity build. It's just kind of underplayed, I think. So the last card is a Wish, but they have 1 mana up. So maybe they can find a removal spell for the Overlord and then top deck like a Pass in Flames. Like, although that wouldn't do it, not even without the Trawler. Winning game 1 against Storm is good. I think Storm is probably pretty well positioned. Oh, I forgot that they have another one of these. Well, not rebounding this. Yeah, just gonna put them to 1. If they top deck a Reckless Impulse, I guess. Well, I guess the problem with that is their talents don't do anything. They're also at a spot now where they can't lose a Row flip. Everyone at my LGS plays Dimir Piles and Prowess Piles. What should I play? This deck would probably be great against that. All right, we win. Sad to see my boy Ketchermo's not good enough anymore. So it was, I believe, Blanks who said this, and they put it in a way that I feel like I couldn't. Oh, I forgot I have these. I do have the Deafening Silences. Okay. They put it in a way that I couldn't. It's that Ketramos is a card advantage engine in an archetype that's all 2-for-1s. And so it just ends up being like a slow win more card in a shell that doesn't need it. Like if Black-White was a deck that was all cheap interaction, and then you had Ketramos as your card advantage engine to rebuild from that, like especially if Grief was still legal, then Ketramos would be like a lot better. So like I'm still interested in circling back to the Ketramos control deck, because I think that's where Ketramos gets to shine more, is in control shells more so than in mid-range shells. But again, I just thought that was a really eloquent way of putting it. I think I go 4 push 3 Solitude. Neither are very good. I guess the Vindicates are also pretty good. Just kill their 2-drops. So you can do like this, 3/2 for the Rouse. Cut an Emperor or a Bowmaster. Bowmaster kind of sucks the matchup. No, they have Valakut Awakening and Metamorphose. But even just Metamorphose is like fine. It's good pressure. Do you think there's a configuration of Orzhov where Ketramos makes more sense? I mean, you play Relic of Rigidus and Ketramos, or you play like Esper with Frog, and it's better. But like, I think with like the tools that exist and the format being the way it is, like this seems like an awesome way to build Orzhov, and this is just one of those situations where I feel like I've been kind of like yelling to the clouds about this build for weeks and weeks, and I didn't see anybody else do it, so we're doing it and showing it. And, I think I'll say that when Orzhov is a good deck, the metagame also improves a lot, and I do believe that you can build Orzhov to be a good deck, and the answer is just not Recruiter and it's not Ketramos. It's Graveyard Trespasser. That card has always been always been the truth. I gotta take the Ral here. Like, I don't know, this build, it's only a match 2, but this build has seemed, I feel like this build looks great, it's playing great. This is the direction to go, I think. All right, so they hit 2 lands off the Impulse, so they can only get 1 of those. Seems okay, especially if I end up going Wish Enchanter turn 4, Hardcast this turn 5 maybe. They don't cast the Valakut Awakening. That's interesting. What card do I fancy more, Trespasser or Arclight Phoenix? I mean, Phoenix. I don't have like a huge attachment to Trespasser. That card is just really good and really underplayed, and that's what we do on this channel, is play those kind of cards. They play this as a land? So hand is double Ritual, double Mystery card. Let's just run out the Mind Sensor. Or sorry, the Interrupter. Alright. Maybe they have another Valakut Awakening? Two Rituals, 3 Mystery cards over there. They're thinking about casting something. VV Dimulich anytime. I don't know. It's the good VV decks have definitely seemed like, just gonna not get dragoned here. The good VV decks have seemed like the lower the mana curve the possible, and this was a problem with the build today, was that the curve is higher and wasn't playing busted fast mana. So with that in mind, the ideas that are going bigger doesn't sound better necessarily. I think I'm just gonna Stone Rain him. You pitched a mutagen to go with Phoenix Shell, expecting to buy it. Well, I just I don't know. So it's just such a complicated idea, you know, where you go, Spike, Phoenix, Timmy Lich, mutagenic growth, VV, go. It's like, I can't shit it out, and I don't know. Okay, they splice a Desperate Ritual. 6 mana here. So yeah, we might be getting dragoned. Be 3 6/6s. I cut the Dimmuliches. Yeah, I don't know. Cut the Dimmuliches. I'm not that interested, I guess. It sounds very clunky. Slinger at the 39 months. Thank you. Welcome back. I've been feeling Ephemerate is quite weak in this archetype. Do you have any thoughts on it? Well, weak would certainly not be the word I use. I would say that that Ephemerate is very high power level and can be and can just be a bad top deck and can be a blowout sometimes. So I would say it's higher variance, but I don't know. It's versatile. It's powerful. I certainly think that it's a card I want to play 4 of. Like, just it's so good with Emperor, it's so good with Wisp, it's so good with Solitude. It can be so good with Overlord. Protection spell for Phelia ends up mattering a lot of the time. It's actually really nasty with Trespasser as a protection spell, where they like go ward, discard a card, you protect it. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna mulligan my 7. Some mana issues. All right. Kept this. I put back another Godless Shrine. I see him playing Neobrand, Tom. That matchup is pretty bad. Let's see if they're playing something else. It's kind of popping back up again. They are playing Flooded Strands in their deck. Yeah, probably still playing this. The Deafening Silences can be good. They can also do nothing. Can't accuse the Neobrand players of not taking their time to think. Would have been nice a turn ago, but we'll definitely fire off this Thoughtseize happily. So Neoform, Evolution, Summoner's Pact. My opponent swears that I drew the Thoughtseize. Kind of unbelievable. Well, they've got 2 Neoforms, so we'll take the Pact. You did, Zathis. I was looking for you the whole time. I knew you were gonna miss it when I streamed it. Link decks now play High Noon over Deafening Silence because of prowess. So here's the thing is like, maybe you just do play one spell so often, but like when you Deafening Silence, you can still Solitude Ephemerate, and maintaining that to me seems more important. Also, like prowess is way on the downswing. High Noon is better against this deck though. So they drew the Summoner's Pact. Okay, let me just go star at the chat. So they have Galta in their hand. Don't exactly know what their plan is. I guess just hope that there's a consign in the top 14. Play Hooting Mandrills. So let's see. I think the only card I want to see is a Thoughtseize. Maybe it's I'm out of loop modern. Maybe I feel like a crybaby. How is Neoform an okay deck exist in modern? It feels like Force of Will check with no Force of Will in the format. Well, there are packs in the format. Or there's Force of Negation in the format and Subtlety. So to say no Force of Will is inaccurate. Well, there is no Force of Will, but there are cards. But the deck is like, so what I like about Neobrand existing compared to compared to other strategies is that there exists several 1-mana colorless cards that shut the deck down. Both Grafdigger's Cage, Grafdigger's Cage and Vexing Bauble are colorless 1-mana artifacts that any deck can play, and just totally shuts the deck down. So when you compare this to other linear strategies, like I think it's really nice when things get shut down by 1-mana colorless cards when it's something like this. And it's just, and it's something you play, and then like the metagame ebbs and flows where people pack the hate and then it dies because the hate and it comes back. Like, I think that's a pretty healthy metagame evolution that can happen sometimes that you don't really get to see that much these days anymore. And then it's like there's even like more healthy dynamics too, where Neobrand existing, like it smashes Boros energy into the dust, and then it gives you reasons to play more Thoughtseizes and more counterspells and force of negations. And like these decks get to exist to contain the Neobrand, while Neobrand contains Boros. Like I think it ends up being pretty healthy for the metagame overall. Toborg with the 55, thank you, welcome back. But Neobrand can win before your turn 1. The current builds are almost always turn 2 decks. It's really rare to see them play Chancellor of Tangles. Is there a good Persist Archon deck? There's not a good one though. You can find there's a Rakdos one that's in the Mox field that I think is okay. You can take a peek over there. All right, let's keep this. Not a great hand. Yeah, definitely not a very good matchup. They graveyard a Consign. Yeah, if they hadn't found a Consign in the top 7, the Bowmaster was just going to kill them. So against Galta, there is some consideration to leave up Solitude plus Ephemerate. The thing is, I have 4 MDFCs that the Overlord could get back to like get me that 3rd land for the Mines or the Interrupter. I think that can be pretty important too. Just called. Here is the premises of the deck. Just black-white with Trespasser replacing Ketchamos. Yeah, I've been like screaming to the hills for weeks about how a lot of black-white players are cutting Ketchamos. Some are still playing Ketchamos, but a lot of them are cutting it and they're playing Recruiter. And I've just been screaming that Graveyard Trespasser is better. You get to play Bowmasters. Like, just Recruiter is just not it. That card is the worst card in your deck. And I think it's hard to argue that Recruiter is not the worst card in your deck if it's in there. So they do have the turn 2 with no Pact either. And they get the protection from white guy, which we can't beat. Okay, great. Thank you for the salt, opponent, and congrats on the easy 2-0. Oh, we're playing against Respect the Cat. Okay, hopefully Respect the Cat is playing Orzhov, and we can test out our mirror theory here. If we want to lead on this for Thoughtseize. Cool, this is great, perfect. Because yeah, 2 Recruiter, 2 main deck Interrupter, 3 main deck Ephemerate, 1 Inquisition in the main. Opponent's on a mold to 6. Takes the Overlord. Finds Flickerwisp, which is awkward. So let's save the Bowmaster for the Wisp, I guess. Shell with the 12 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, I think I don't cast the Bowmasters. I think it's better to protect the Ephemerate. Takes a Fatal Push. So do I Bowmaster and Ephemerate? I should have probably done that before this happened. Let me see what we're drawing. So I could Improv Bones the Witch Enchanter and kill the Overlord. I could, and then I could Solitude the Emperor, although that's bad if our opponent has a land. Witch Enchanter, his Balemurk, and kill Bones. And just main phase? I think I'm just 2 behind. What I like about this is that if a cat taps out for the Flickerwisp, then the rebound Ephemerate kills the Flickerwisp. And then I can Surveil, and I can either Emperor Bones the Witch Enchanter on the Overlord this turn, or I can maybe find a land to hardcast Solitude. And then seeing Cat's list, there should only be 2 Ephemerates left in the deck at all. Okay, returns Emperor Bones here. There should only be 2 Ephemerates left in the deck at all. So if it's there, it's like kind of not like possible to beat, but that's okay. All right, let's, I think, keep that. Getting that 5th mana seems important. I think Cat's going to be good enough if there is an Ephemerate that he's not going to just crack for a fetch land. So let's main phase the Solitude so we can attack for 3. And then I know this is like worse against Ephemerate, but I also don't think we're beating an Ephemerate here. So I think that was the right line. There's nothing too crazy to Emperor Bones here either, thankfully. So they target the Wisp. And they use it. I'm going to kill my Orc army? They do kill my Orc army. They hit me for 3, down to 12. 3 cards left in hand over there. So I think I target the... Could target the Wisp and reset the Overlord. I think we target the Recruiter because we have no cards in our hand. Recruiter good all along. I take everything back. Do I get another Emperor? Seems like the best thing. Could get a Solitude too, of course. I think as another Emperor could be like a Wisp to flicker the Solitude. Okay, well, whatever we took was getting Thoughtseized. So Cat has 3 cards in hand, I have 0. Cat only has 4 mana, I have 5. I've got a board. So we got a lot of good top decks. I guess we attack first. Might get in 1 extra damage if there's another Fatal Push in hand. I might have played around Bowmaster better. Alright, so both top decking. Me having the 5th land matters a lot, but him having the first draw matters a lot too. Attacks while he's at 11, I'm at 16. That's interesting. Maybe drew Phelia. Let's play around Phelia. I think that's kind of the thing that makes sense here, right? Okay, maybe not. Now all the 5 drops are live. Drew a Solitude. Alright, not a bad first 2 cards. I think I have Ephemerates in my deck I can't block. Alright, hold this in hand because of Thoughtseize. Doesn't attack with the Bowmaster this time. Doesn't make any sense. What could it be? I don't know. I don't know why every other turn is an attack and this one isn't. Attack makes sense with the Solitude draw. Well, not the first time, right? Oh, maybe he just thinks I have a Phelia as the planes. He's playing around it now. All right, so 2 cards in hand over there. Hopefully a discard spell. Hasn't played a land, but you would hold at least one land in your hand. If he's top decking double Solitude here, it's going to be tough. Push, not the most helpful, but we'll take a spell, I guess. You drew double Solitude, okay. That's why Cat's the Black-White Master, I guess. Yeah, still can't really afford to be blocking. Not a huge difference between being at 5 and being at 6. I think I'm going to take this hit this time. Okay, they're not even attacking with the Bowmaster. I'm not the Black-White Master, apparently. So we need to chump block and draw a Solitude or Emperor. All right, let's see if we can get any more info. All right, game 2. Down a game. Do you think the Thoughtseize are good? We're not super far away from being kind of pre-boarded, I guess. The Bowmasters aren't great, but there's like enough 1 toughness creatures that you probably want like 3. Maybe we just do this. Maybe with the Wrath Disguise, actually. Trespassers aren't great against them. I don't know if you want Aven Interrupter. Could be okay. It's kind of bad in long games, which these games go really long. Let's do this. I'm gonna choose to be on the draw. Don't at me. Happy I chose to be on the draw with this hand. Alright, good to hear other people don't like Aven. Right. We're both on the Mold 6, would much rather be on the draw on the Mold 6 in the mirror. Right, keep them put back either second Ephemerate or second Backstreets. Let's put back second Ephemerate. Oh. I'm going to pass back. I'm going to pass back. Yeah, I feel really good about the decision to draw when we both mulligan. And it's a Thoughtseize matchup. And there's just so many cards that like it's just so removal heavy. You can get punished with some draws, obviously, but gotta keep that to play around Phelia. Also, playing Phelia when I have Ephemerate up could be good too. Worse if he has Overlord into Flickerwisp again, which I yeah, no, what can you do? Look for a Solitude, I guess. My own Wisp. I guess that's not something we want. Well, if we don't draw a Solitude, it's going to look pretty bad. Should have picked play. Alright, I am not the Black-White Master. Oh, I could have Wisped the Enchanter. I'm definitely not the Black-White Master. Dang. Alright, on the draw. I guess we take the discharge. Take the tune. A lot of verges, it's interesting. See if they top decked a Snapcaster. Yeah, I thought being on the draw on a Thoughtseize mirror was kind of interesting, Cat. But maybe the Overlord Flickerwisp draws are too good. But GG's. I bestow you the title of Black-White Master. Alright, they discard the Spell Snare, so maybe the Phelia is going to be good to go now. Guess we can double check. Maybe take the Lorien Revealed. Yeah. Might be casting the Trawler. We can save the Phelia from the Prismatic Ending with the Ephemerate, maybe. We got a pretty low resource game going on here. Alright, so their hand right now is just a Prismatic Ending. They don't cast Prismatic Ending, so they drew Solitude. So I could exile the Trespasser to drain for 1, or I could leave a Trespasser in the yard for a future Emperor. I think I'm okay to drain here. Why are they fletching pre-Trawler? They're just making a mistake. I don't know why they didn't cast the Prismatic Ending, though. I mean, like, if they had Wrath Disguise, they would have played it last turn. Alright, weird. Alright, up a game against blue or Jeskai White Jeskai control. Gonna bring in the Trespasser, the Interrupters, and I think just the first Vindicate gets in there. Okay, not Wrath Disguise. Alright, mulliganing. Keeping. I think we just fetch the Surveil lands. Did you have a banned wish list that got dodged? I mean, yeah. But the thing is, it's like they were very vocal that they weren't intending to change anything on the modern BNR. Modern's also been in it's been in good shape for a little while now. So I instead of like really talking much about my like BNR wish list, I've just been trying to enjoy the format, and I have been enjoying it. I think we don't Thoughtseize this turn. Let me interrupt you. So I think I want to take the discharge. Seems like I would rather get a little bit more pressure in play since they're stumbling. They have a stock up plotted. We maybe get to Thoughtseize the stock up in the hand. But also we can surveil into like a Overlord. That'd be great. They have no white mana for the Teferi. Phelia, I think, is just going to have to go in the graveyard here. So they play the stock up that was plotted. Get an Arid Mesa. So also, I've got like several other decks prepped, and I don't know what I want to play next, if I want to do another league of this or not. So let me know if you want to see a second league of this, or if you feel like you got it. We are probably going to go to a game 3. I think I take the stock up. Yeah, you can type ! Deck Pox, and you can see this deck and all the decks we've been playing. Yeah, so I guess I should say, I'm almost scared to say this because y'all are gonna definitely want it. But I guess I'll just play the deck I know y'all are gonna want then. I know if I say it, y'all are gonna want it. So, all right, we need to draw an Overlord this turn to have a chance. Yeah, I like black white too. It's just the kind of deck that it feels like you know, you show off the tech for like the stock list, and you know, if people want to play it, they're gonna play it. Yeah, we needed Blood Baron next league. All right, on the play. Yeah, it is your pet deck, whatever that is. That's what we're playing next. No, it's I have 12 Final Fantasy cards in it. All cards we have played before, but not in this combination. And it was like solid in testing. It was hard to evaluate, but it definitely did solid. Interesting that this just taps for a white by itself. I think I'm just slamming the Wisp here. I just have so much value in my hand. Just be proactive. Like I can go, you know, Trespasser this next turn into, or yeah, let's just go Emperor here. Do you think that they probably have a snare, but that's okay. Oh, great. Thanks for the Karugabrew spike. I went 1-2 drop at my local RCQ. Can't seem to figure out how to beat Necro. Force Negation's a big part of it. You probably want some Force of Vigors too. Because like if they just can't get Necro in play, they just don't do anything. But I do like the Karuga deck. I'm glad you're at least liking it somewhat. There are no Graveyard Trespassers in the Mystery deck. Though maybe there should be. Alright, so if they have a Solitude, we'll just take the 2-for-1 and untap and hardcast the Overlord. So I'm just going to go ahead and main phase this. I'll take this Aven Interrupter. Remember you saying that Flickerwisp would be too strong if it had Flash. Is the mana value too prohibitive for Restoration Angel? A 3-mana Restoration Angel would be really, really strong. I don't know. I feel like, you know, there's been so many good cards to Flicker and so many Flicker enablers lately. To me, it doesn't seem like this is the kind of thing the format really, really needs. But you know, if this is your shit, then I hope they print it. Yeah, I guess what you're saying is you're saying a 4-mana Flickerwisp that has Flash. I don't know. I don't really like to do like a lot of custom magic on the channel either. I just like to play the cards that exist. This is I'm a little bit worried about decking myself. I think they're just asking for Restos play. But yeah, I guess I was confused, but didn't we play like one Restoration Angel not that long ago? I'm kind of hoping they kill this because I'm kind of a little scared of decking. Have I played my land this turn? Cast Emperor, cast Toon. Okay, we'll take a land, I think. Take a Witch Enchanter. I'm just gonna attack them also. Well, no, I guess with double Ephemerate up, we don't. Okay, so they're down to 8. I'm down to 21 cards in my deck. I've had more and I've had less. We played one Restoration Angel like within the last 10 months. Like, I guess I want to look at the Mox field and see when that was. Okay, we got lethal in play. Okay, they conceded. So we're 3-2 that league. We lost to the Mirror against the Catmaster. You know, it's the Mirror. We got out top deck pretty bad. And then we lost to Neoform. We beat Storm. And I can't remember what the other match was.